All right, let's get this thing going. Episode 4. Episode 4, I believe, of the Ridiculous Reseller Rendezvous podcast. So, interesting day today. Did you watch that Tom Brady roast on Netflix yet?
No.
You need to watch it. It's about three. Yeah, it was live last night.
Oh,
It's about three. It was about 3.5 hours.
Live on what?
Netflix.
Oh, Netflix. Oh, okay. I was gonna say it better been something because those things get pretty bad.
Yeah, I listened to it today at work while I was spreading fertilizer, and I laughed my ass off for all 3.5 hours of that. So we're one short today. Ron is he has a family emergency. He's dealing with some issues there with his family in the hospital and stuff like that. So we're riding just Joe and I here today, which we've been picking together for years anyway. And he's actually my brother-in-law. So we have these conversations 2 or 3 times a week. And hence we decided, let's just record it and see what happens. So as we begin every show, what's the drink of the day, Joe?
Seagram's Escape. I got mango orange. Something new.
Escape,
got a little more alcohol
orange.
in it than the other things. Yeah.
Is it the 8%er?
No, it's 5.
Oh,
but it's good for you because it's got 3% juice. 3% juice in it.
That's not real juice. I was drinking Truly's. I was drinking Truly's Friday night, but they were the 8% ones. And next thing you know, I'm a big boy, but next thing you know, I was feeling it. I was sluggish Saturday morning yard stand, that's for sure. I am gracing today's podcast with a double shot, a Woodford Reserve on the rocks. Figure that's the official drink of the Derby, right? The official bourbon of the Derby. And it was just Derby weekend, so might as well break out the old Woodford Reserve and have a couple sips. 3 sips, I already feel warm in here. Plus, I needed to calm down. I've been got a comment on my YouTube video I posted last night. Did you watch it?
No, what was that one?
The Nintendo deal that did not go down this weekend over on the West Shore.
Oh yeah.
So I don't know the guy's screen name offhand. It was Thrifty. We'll get right into that anyway. Thrifty something. Thrifty. I don't pay attention really, but obviously the guy's a reseller, and I offered the guy $140. Obviously, that's not where I wanted to pay. I was probably going to go to $200, but everybody knows you don't come out the gate with your best and final. You just don't. If you do, you are a rookie. So he's looking at this. I asked him to bring some video games out, and I didn't expect Nintendo. I expected PlayStation 2, like he said. And next, he brings out all this Nintendo stuff out. And there wasn't nothing major. There was 2 consoles, which I doubt worked because they were yellowed up pretty good. And the games weren't nothing spectacular. He had some manuals, which are good, but they were beat. I mean, the instruction booklets. I mean, there were pages randomly in the box. So the only good game I believe I saw in there was Die Hard, which is about $100 game by itself. So I could tell right off the bat the guy didn't want to sell him. There's a lot of sentimental value there to him. So I came out with 140, and eventually he worked at 300, and it wasn't going to happen. He was already pulling stuff out of the box, and at that point I grabbed a stack full of games and wanted to know how much, and he started pulling from my stack. I'm like, yeah, this guy's still attached. But so at the end of the day, I gave him my card. Maybe he'll call, maybe he won't. We'll find out in the future sometime. But so a gentleman on YouTube said I shouldn't be lowballing somebody at 140. I'm like, well, that was my first offer. He says he sees $650 of value in that box. There's a little over 40 games. I don't know exactly how many there were. There were a little bit over 40 games. Some duplicates too. And he goes on right on what he thought he saw, but dude, I saw $400 total. And on a good day, if the two consoles worked, I saw $500 tops. That's all I saw. And I wanted to break down the math. So in case this guy's watching, I try to explain it over YouTube comments, but Joe, now you and I are part-time sellers, so we don't need that. If we're not going to make something half decent, I'm walking away from it. So you let me know if my math is correct, Joe. I even brought out the whiteboard. So he says he would have paid $350 for it, or another reseller would have came along and probably would have bought it for $350. So we're just going to write that number down there for a minute. So he says there is $650 worth of value. Now, through the comments with him, I like to promote stuff on eBay because we get it at good prices at yard sales. And with video games, you kind of, unless you're running auction style with a lot, you kind of, if you're just selling single games, you got to promote them. There's so much inventory on there, nobody will ever get to see them. So you figure the final valuation fee in that category is 13.25%. And if you promote it, you're promoting for about 8.5 to 10%. So you're all in for 23%. So and the guy does say he does promote. He says he keeps it under 20. I don't know how when the final valuation fee is already 13.5% almost. So $650. You take your 23% if you promote it. So that's what 20, 40, 60, 80, 100, 120, say $130. Just off final value fees. So you're down to what? 620, 520. Right? You already paid $350. Make an arrow down there. You paid $350. So you're at a so-called $170 profit, correct? Lost the eraser.
Yep.
All right. Well, Uncle Sam wants his cut, right? Got to pay taxes on it. Take 30% off that to be safe. What do you mean no?
No, I said some people. He
Well,
might be.
yes,
Maybe he's one of these guys. Yeah, some people. Yeah,
he very well could be. But I mean, if you're doing a legit math in a business, you're taking 30% off that. So you're taking 30, say about $70 off that, right? 30% of 170.
Right.
So you're getting $100 profit in reality. And then you factor in your time, right? 40 some Nintendo games. If you're gonna,
is this the only thing the guy sells too?
He sells a lot of them,
but
so he might have a better infrastructure.
Is he only doing video games? That's it.
I don't know. He could be selling other stuff. I would assume he is, but
right. I don't know.
But at $100 profit, I mean, you have to think 40 some games, and if you want to test them all to get good prices for them, you're looking at what, 5 to 8 minutes per video game. So you're looking at almost 3 hours of testing and listing at the same time. So 3 hours. I mean, what does that? What's 3 hours to you, Joe? What's your time worth?
Too much time. It's just too much time. That's why I sell my stuff in lots. I get it as cheap as I can, and I just sold all the PlayStation, that stuff I got last week. Sold it on Marketplace for $200 yesterday.
Yeah, and like
I'm not dealing with testing all the games and everything else. It takes too much time.
Yeah, and if you want to get the prices to maybe even get to that $650 value this guy says it's worth, you're going to have to test it and show screenshots, and that's a lot of time. I value my time. I think I'm worth at least $30 an hour.
And again, that's his opinion. That's what it's
Yeah.
worth. Well, that's fine. That's fine. If you want to sit and wait and try and get that much, I buy 1 week and it's gone by the next week. That's it.
Yeah.
I
We
don't
move
do
it.
inventory. I don't do nothing. I don't do sale. Yeah, I'm not like a Goodwill and stuff sitting in the shelves on the shelves for 3-4 weeks at a time because they mark the shit too high. No.
And to me, like, I mean, I think my time, I'm doing this as a side business. Anything between $25 and $30 an hour for me is great. I mean, that's what I'll take. I won't go below that. I think my time's worth more than that.
Yeah. I mean, I'm doing what other people don't want to do. Is sit down and sell it online. They want the money, but they don't want to put the time and everything else that it takes to do it. So, that's fine. You don't want to sell it, then that's fine. This is what I'm
maybe
willing
that guy
to do
has
this for.
maybe that guy has a different infrastructure set up. I mean, we both have our, I mean, my listing and shipping practices are different than yours, and we're both different than Ron's. So it doesn't matter. I mean, maybe I'm pretty efficient at it, but I mean, I can't pull myself to increase that profit more than $100 if you would have bought it at $350 and possibly get $650, unless you're in for the long game. I'm not in it for the long game. That's not. I mean,
quick turnaround.
even for a long game, you still got to promote it. Video games do not move if you don't promote. Yeah. That's just my feeling. Unless you get that real good one, and I didn't see any real good games in there. I mean, who's going to sit down?
All my stuff in a lot. I didn't have anything good.
Like Super Mario, dude. It's like a $5 game, maybe. There was 2 of them in there. So what are you going to list that one? Like, you got 8 minutes into it between you test it and list it. It's not worth your time. It's just not worth your time. But the video's over on my YouTube channel, Susquehanna Picker. Go check it out. You can leave comments. I'm sure I'll read them. I may not agree with you, but like I said, we're all in the reselling business. Probably anybody who's listening to this. So you just have to increase your margins. And that's all I'm trying to do. I mean, at the end of the day, we're taking.
It's not fun if you don't. I'm not doing it, to make a fortune, but I got to make something, or it's not fun. I'm not buying something for $50 and selling it for 52. It's just, there's no sense in it.
I mean, we assume as resellers and then the buyers of these used goods, we assume the risk, right? We're the ones taking all the risk.
Right.
There's no risk on that guy at the garage sale. There's none at all. I don't know if it works.
He's got his money. I mean, he's used it for years and years and years. Got all his playing time out of it. Yeah, well, maybe it made money. It's gone up in value over the years, but still, the last time guy selling it was probably 10 years ago.
Let me clarify this: the guy selling it's not the guy who commented on YouTube. The guy selling it, I could tell honestly if you watch the video, he did not want to sell it. He had too much sentimental value tied up into it, which is fine. That's why I gave him my card, and maybe he calls me next year and tells me he wants to get rid of his collection. That's what I can hope for. But I could tell right there he didn't want to sell because the sentimental value, and okay, whatever. But then for this guy to comment like, dude, I don't know what you saw. I know what I saw. That to make it worth my time. You value your time your way. I value my time a different way. I think I'm worth more than that. But now if you're a full-time reseller, you may need that $100.
Yeah, if you don't work for a living and this is your living, well, so be it.
Yeah,
I work for a living.
I don't need that. Yeah,
I'm retiring in 3 months because I work for a living.
Yeah, this is a part-time gig for me. So I'm not
just this is just something to fill my time and have fun at.
Yeah, I'm not that desperate. Not at all. So let's go into that the boom and the bust of the week. Boom and bust. What's the boom, Joe? What was your big boom?
Yeah, I got my slot cars went off. I ran them auction style. Well, I had them one for offers, and I got one offer, and I countered, and the guy turned it down. So I just ended it and put it back up for auction style, and they went well.
What was the original offer for?
$350. I counted him at four and a quarter, and he turned it down.
Yeah, you made a good move. I saw that today. I'm scouring eBay.
Well, I mean, they're worth $10 a piece. There was over 30 of them, but they brought double that. So
yeah, I saw that. I'm like, ooh, he did good on those.
yeah, I mean, I'd have been happy with 4 and a quarter. I was happy with that, but
see, and that goes to show you. Last week you had the flop of the auction style, something that sold for $14.95.
Yeah,
and it was worth more, but that's
Clippers.
what
Yeah,
the and then this week,
Clippers.
Yeah, and then this week you had 2 people fighting it over it, and probably ran that thing up to double what it's worth.
Yeah.
Any bust for you?
No, I don't think I really had any busts.
You're more selective than us.
Oh yeah, I'm real selective now. Most of the stuff I got this weekend, I already got rid of it. I sold it on Marketplace, furniture and stuff.
Yeah,
I had a good weekend on Marketplace. And I got rid of all the chairs and jewelry box. I got a jewelry box for free. One of the armoires.
I saw that.
Wanted to get rid of it. She just wanted to get rid of it. I threw it on Marketplace. I undercut everybody and gone that evening.
That was one of them ones off QVC, right? Wasn't
it? Probably. I have no idea.
I think that Shark Tank lady developed those. I don't know what they're exactly called, but that Lori lady, I think she designed that whole thing. If I see it, I'll throw it up on the screen. I know exactly what you're talking about. So I'll go into my booms for the week. Sold that Lego Batman for $425. Paid $5 for it. Once again, wait till that video comes out. I'm sure the same guy will be commenting on it. But it's funny because when I picked this Lego set, it was rubber banded shut, so it wasn't sealed. And when I picked it up off the table, at least 2 pieces fell out. You know how loose Legos are in a box.
Right. You don't know how many people picked it up before you.
Yeah, I definitely wasn't the first one at the yard sale. So I actually had to bend down and pick up the 2 pieces that fell out of the box. So I was like, I usually never buy used Legos like that. And the only comp I did, I looked up and saw, wow, it's a good set. Let me just throw this out. I didn't even open the box. And my thought was, I'm praying the minifigures are in there, because at least one of the minifigures brings $40. So I got it for $5. And once again, my son and I sat down that afternoon, 4.5 hours. We built that whole damn Lego set. And it was all there. Surprisingly, it was all, I don't know how. There was actually some extra pieces too. But we took the risk. I assumed all the risk. That's why I wasn't going to pay $5. If they would have said 10 or 15, 10 maybe, 15, I was opening that box. But it's one of them situations when it's early at the yard sales, you're just trying to grab and grow, because you have 10 or 15 pickers coming right behind you. They're going to snatch it up. So you're just you're taking chances for the first hour at every yard sale. Just around here anyway. That's how it is.
Yeah.
What else I saw? I sold something. Oh, 2 of those airplane. Mentioned the other week, them airplane instrument panel things, gauges. Yeah. Sold 2 of those at $250 pop. So that's $500 for 2 of those. Those would be my 2 big sales, my 2 big booms of the week. But I do have a flop. I have a flop. I still made money. 3 weeks ago, bought Batman Returns action figures from down in, I don't know, Western Lancaster County. I paid $10 for them, and she wanted me to take all. I left behind the one piece, but it was a nice Batman Returns early 1990s case, and it had like 12 action figures in it. Most of them were from the early 90s. And I thought they would bring more than $20.50. That's for sure. I mean, even with the case only sells for 10, but I figure with the action figures, I was like, man, $10 deal. I thought I'd get 50, 60 out of it, maybe more. I do have a box of accessories I didn't sell yet, but seeing how disappointed that was, I may not enlist them. I may give them my buddy down here in Harrisburg who has a
throw them out.
They have value, but seeing how much that wasn't worth my time. I'm probably going to give it to my buddy down here in Harrisburg who has a retro shop.
That's not value.
Well, he'll piece them out and put them in his store of it. And I won't. I probably wouldn't even charge him. If I charge him for him, I'll charge him $5. Like I just, other than that, it's going to go in the trash for me. You froze up there, Joe. Can you still hear me? There you are.
Yeah, I got
there. He's back. He's back to reality.
Well, wasn't sure if I wanted to leave it on Wi-Fi or just go to the Wi-Fi seems to be okay, but catches up once in a while. But I did forget. I threw that featherweight on yesterday. Man,
I saw I had some bids on it.
Oh yeah, it's up to 100.5 already.
Pretty good feeling that's going to be your boom for next week.
Yeah, that'll be it. I didn't get much else, although I didn't. Yeah, that only got a few things. So
I filled the van full of shit again this week. More Friday than Saturday because Friday was nice because we had nice weather.
I got electronics from a guy at work. I just put them on a little bit ago. They're a little rough, like signal regulators and stuff. One's an EICO, kind of like the old Heath kits.
Yeah,
but they got a little bit of rust on them and stuff. That one didn't power on, but I gave him $40. He got them out of a garage somewhere, and I said, "I'll give you $40 for them." Even for parts, I think I'll get. I said I'll get my money back. I think on them, even as rough as they are. But so I threw them on a while ago. If I get my money back, I'll be happy.
So without Ron being here, I was hoping 3 people. I tried to get a third person, and it was a little short notice. And but we're still going to do it. This will be the first ever reseller, yard sale, or garage sale draft. We're going to draft items, and the topic of this draft, or the main headline of this draft, is the top things you see, not necessarily that you buy, the top things you see at a yard sale or garage sale around here. And we're going to put this out on a poll too, so we're going to see who wins it. We'll judge. I was hoping for a third party with Ron, because if we have a issue with something, we'll have to go to the council and get a vote on it. If we go to a vote now, I think it'd be 1-1, and we're going to have to fight over it. But so I'm going to put these up on the screen as we talk about them in the post editing, stuff like that. So add to the stage the picker wheel. We need to see who goes first. Obviously, Ron's not here, so let's see if I can work this here. Let's see who gets the first pick in the draft. Then we'll alternate. I guess I have to go into the tab. And it's spinning. First pick of the draft goes to. Uh-oh. Oh, just it's sticking. Oh, what's that? So Hippy wins the first pick of the draft. And we're doing 5 picks. So it's the top 5, and we can't use them. Once it's gone, it's gone. What's your number one pick of the draft? What's your number one overall pick that you see 9 out of 10 yard sales.
Baby clothes.
Son of a bitch. That was my first pick. Son of a bitch. Baby clothes. You can usually see them from the street as you're pulling up to the yard sale.
Man, just tubs full of them.
Cross that off my list. I knew that was going to go number one. I knew it was going to go number one. I'm going to go with the second. So, I'm going to go with something. It could be categorized in more broad, but I'm going to go with a specific item here. We all see them. We know what they look like, usually sitting on the table or the bench from 2 blocks away when rolling down the street. The number one thing I see, and I would put a paycheck on it, the first yard sale I pull up to, it's going to be there. I'm going to go with the red quesadilla maker. Don't think you don't ever see them because they are. I don't know what they made more. They made more of those than the ET game from Atari. I don't know. Them damn quesadilla makers are everywhere. Mm-hmm. So we stay with me because we're going to come back around. That's how that would work.
All right.
So number 2, my number 2 pick. This is tough.
Oh no!
I'm gonna go
this is easy. This is easy.
Oh, it's easy, but trying to make the most valuable list, I should say, is tough. I'm gonna go with. Oh, could have been a couple. Could have been a couple I went with here. I'm gonna go with water bottles.
Yeah, there are. There's a lot of them.
And now that doesn't cover drinking glasses. That just covers water bottles.
Right.
Round 2 to you, Hippy.
George Foreman grills. Oh God, they're everywhere. These things, there's almost one at every sale.
In every single make and model they made of it.
Yes, there's so many styles of them. Yeah,
colors and styles and
the guy made a fortune off his name.
And to be honest with you, I would even put money at 60% of those grills. Fact check that. 70% of those grills are still a little bit greasy or dirty. Would you go higher than 70?
Nah, that'd be good. That's about right.
Or they're missing that thin.
We'll pop the plates off. You'll be able to tell real quick.
or they're missing that grease tray. That grease tray that usually sits underneath it. That's usually pretty nasty looking.
Yeah. So, hang on. Speaking.
Don't tell me you got one.
There's baby, right there. $5, brand new. The Evolve. The George Foreman Evolve.
That's not bad. If it's brand new, it's pretty good.
Oh yeah, it's brand new. I looked it up. It's 119 or 149 off of QVC. Never even opened it.
So number 3, which would be the number 5 overall pick in the draft. Where are you going next?
Inversion tables. There's at least one every weekend. At least one, maybe 2.
And when you say inversion table, are you just meaning?
The
those
ones you flip up and hang upside down. Yes. Yep.
I thought you said inversion cables.
Tables. Yeah.
Have you ever tried one?
At least one every weekend. Nope. Absolutely. Nope. You saw somebody try one.
That wasn't even an inversion table. That was a Tony Little Gazelle.
Tony, that's on my list too, but I don't see many of them anymore. But yeah,
she went right over
Tony
the
Little
handlebars on
Gazelle.
those. She went right over the handlebars on them. Yeah, I'm waiting for the day. Maybe I should try one of those one day. That would make some good YouTube content. And let me test out that inversion table.
Yeah, don't invite me. I'm too old for that.
All right, over to me. My third pick of the draft, since I go back to back here. I'm going to go with VHS or DVDs, movies. Always see them. Usually you can get them cheap if you're into that stuff. And it could be just movies. It could be Disney's. It could be the clamshells. It could be anything. Box sets. You're going to see them. Everybody brings out that old case of VHS tapes or DVDs. They just go in. It's like they go into the entertainment center and just bookend them and just bring them right out to the table. Try to sell them for $1 a piece, and half of them don't even have the damn movie in them. So my back-to-back, I'm going to go, since I took that. I'm going with hand tools. Hand tools. I always see them. Wrenches, sockets.
Yep.
They're always there. They're probably missing sockets if you're looking for them.
It's a good one to look through, though. You look for snap-ons and stuff.
Yeah, Snap-on, Matco. Was the
SK.
green ones, the SK. They're good.
Yeah.
I usually don't buy Craftsman, but if it's cheap enough, I'll buy them and just lot it up and sell it as a lot of various Craftsman sockets or something. But
yeah.
A quick bolo. I will tell you what to look out for, Joe. Barbecue sets. You usually see those. Look for the ones Craftsman made them. That the handles of the tongs are like the screwdriver handles, and the spatula looks like a screwdriver with a spatula. Dude, they're $50 used. Got one 2 years ago. Yeah, you don't come across them anymore and that much, but yeah, you got to keep an eye out for those. So we're heading over to you for your final two picks, pick 4 and pick 5.
I have them. I'm just trying to figure out which order.
So to recap Joe's list, Joe currently has baby kids toys.
If it ain't clothes, it's toys. Just tons of them.
So we're going down Joe's list before he makes his last pick.
Lost me. Hold on.
Oh, got a blackout. While we're waiting for Hippy to come back online there. Joe's top 5, yard sale or reseller yard sale draft. And we'll go over Joe's list while we're waiting for him to reboot that internet. Number 1 on his list, the number 1 overall pick in the draft is baby clothes. You see him at every yard sale. Number 2, he chose George Foreman grills. 3, then them inversion tables. I don't know if I would have put. You could have got inversion tables probably in the 10th round.
All right, I'm back. I switched up. I lost you, and I went over and turned the Wi-Fi off.
I was going down your list, reverberating your list to everybody while we were waiting for you to join. And you said you got baby clothes as the first overall pick. Yeah. George Foreman grills as 2, inversion tables, which that's a bang job. I don't think that's good for the list, Joe. I think you could have got that down in round 12.
Well,
that could have been a Tom Brady late draft pick.
I see. Yeah. Well, I should have did the kids toys next.
Yeah, kids toys is a good pick. I would have had it up the list though. I would have flip-flopped kids toys and inversion tables is what I would.
Well, I just like to get the inversion table out there. I just think of the incident you had.
Not me.
Well,
not me. That was you. That was
that you witnessed.
I witnessed a female wanting to on a gazelle or inversion table.
Yeah, it was one. I think it was a table. I'm pretty sure it was a table because she flipped over backwards.
You were with.
I was there, but I missed it. You said, you just missed it. You said she went right over backwards.
It was something out of it was a medieval torture rack.
That's the tables.
God. Strapped her in her, and the thing was, I hope the guy's homeowner's insurance was up to date. I mean, he strapped her ankles into that thing, and the next just flew over. So, last pick of the draft, Joe.
Christmas, anything, ornaments, lights, just tubs and tubs full of the stuff, tables full of the stuff sometimes.
Now, there is good Christmas stuff.
Oh, there is, but
most of it's shit. Most of it's Christmas shit.
Yeah, just strings of old lights. Throw them out.
Old lights, grandma's old pot holders,
and
pads.
Old. When I say old, I don't mean 60s bubble lights. I'm talking 90s, 2000. They just don't want to mess with the lights anymore.
The Clark Griswold, the ball that's in a big knot when he just holds them up.
Right.
Dusty. Plug them in it. They're all chewed from squirrels that got into the garage. So the actual last pick of the draft, my number 5 pick, there's so many to choose from. I figure with Ron here, the list would have got a little dicier there, but boy, there's so many good plays here you can make. Oh man. I'm torn between two. I'm torn. I'm gonna go with shoes. Shoes. Usually they're not good shoes either. Usually they're beat. They smell. Yeah. Carl's out there putting his creek shoes out there. They smell like ass and mud and crawfish, and they're not stiletto heels. You know what I mean? So do you have an honorable mention there, Joe?
Yeah. Every once in a
while. The undrafted free agent. Who is your undrafted free agent?
Avon Bottles.
Oh shit.
At least every weekend I come across somebody that's got a whole box full of them and think they're worth something.
I think I bought a box of them one time. I think it was in my Escape. I had one leak.
Oh, sucker.
It was one of them instances where they made you take them all, but I only wanted one. I think it was the Batmobile, because at the one time the Batmobile still brought money. Yeah. But you had to take them all. She wasn't letting them go in her trash.
Sucker.
Yeah, I fell for it. Hook, line, and sinker. Boy, I'm still torn. I guess my undrafted free agent would have to be pots and pans. And they're usually greasy. They're not.
The Teflon's all wore off of them. Flaking.
Like the Calphalon ones. I was oh man, Calphalon, that's good brand. And you pick it up, it's like, if I try to fry an egg on that, I'm probably going to get cancer. You know what I mean? Because all that shit is just abrasived off. Oh. And you're walking up, you see that nice cast iron piece from a distance, and you're like, oh yeah, this is going to be good.
Lodge.
Some lodges do okay, but
they do.
But as soon as you see it, you're kind of circling right towards it because it's a nice piece of cast iron from the road. Then what happens when as soon as your hand touches it, it sticks to it because there's old oil, there's old grease. Oh,
well, no, that's good. That's a good seasoned pan, though.
no. Your hand smells like old fish sticks and whatever else they cooked in it. Then you can't get the shit off your hands. Then you feel like Chevy Chase again, sitting there reading a magazine 3 hours later when you get home, and everything's sticking to your hands. So that concludes the first ever. Maybe we'll do this annually. The first ever reseller yard sale, garage sale draft. Hot items or most common items at yard sales. We'll go down the list. Once again, Joe with the first overall pick chose baby clothes. I quickly followed it up with quesadilla makers. We all know what we're talking about. Them red panini presses, if you want to call them that. Water bottles was my second pick. Usually they're the giveaways. People's companies give them out and all that good stuff. Joe went with George Foreman grills at number 2. Then he quickly turned around there and chose the inversion tables, which I believe is a bad play for this early in the list. That's a bad play, Joe. Bad play. That one right there might have cost you the draft. Just saying. Just
I don't know. We'll let the masses decide.
If you lose, I've told you, and you would have to stick your hand up and take some accountability for that. I followed his inversion tables with VHS and DVDs / movies of any sort. I quickly circled the wagons and came right back to hand tools because Lord knows we all see hand tools out there. And Joe, his back-to-back to end his draft was kids' toys. Good play there. Very good play. And then Christmas stuff. Or Christmas shit, whatever you want to say.
Yeah.
It's a lot of Christmas.
Unless there's blow molds there, it's junk.
Oh, you gotta love the people who advertise Christmas in July, and you show up and that's all it is. It's just
junk.
It's stuff that the garbage man can't take. You know what I mean?
Thrift stores won't even take it.
Yeah, they'll turn that away. I ended the draft with shoes. I actually picked up a pair of shoes this weekend. First time I bought a pair of shoes in a long time.
Yeah, I don't buy too many either.
I never heard of them. They're called Hueys. They're made by somebody, but they're Mexican heritage. They're kind of like Hey Dudes. They're very clean. Knew they were bringing $80 online, and I think I can get 40 or 50 out of them. I think they wanted $2 for them. First time in a long time I picked shoes up. And Joe chose the honorable mention of Avon bottles, and my honorable mention was pots and pans or assorted cookware of any sort. But that was our first ever draft. I wish Ron would have been there for that one. He would have enjoyed that. I would have loved to see what his thoughts were.
Yeah.
Maybe I'll think of a draft for next week. Email me if you think of a topic for the draft, Joe.
All right.
I don't know what we could do, but I'm sure we'll think of something. Well, that about does it up. No guests this week. We might have a guest next week. I'm working on something. Got a few feelers out there, so it'd be nice if we have a guest if they could participate in the draft. I'd like to hear what some people's thoughts are, especially if they have like a brick and mortar store and not that much online stuff. I have some serious questions for those people. So, anything else?
No.
Hopefully the weather holds out this weekend. It wasn't looking good the other day, but now Saturdays has kind of lightened up the weather. So, looks like a crappy week all week, to be honest with you.
Yeah, sketchy pretty much all week.
As long as Fridays and Saturdays are good.
Yep.
At least one. I mean, because what happens is if you get rained out here in Pennsylvania, if you get rained out on a Saturday, especially, everything gets pushed a week. And then the next week is just you never thought you would hear somebody say this or a reseller say this, but there's too many yard sales at that point. Just too many. Not the sense you can't hit them all. They're just, you don't know where to go. Because there's some of us like to hit certain neighborhoods yearly. some, I have 2 neighborhoods I like to go to every year. They're never picked out. You always find something. It's tough to do when there's just too many neighborhoods having them. Any parting words there, Mr. Hippy?
Nope. Just counting down my days to retirement.
Must be nice. Must be nice.
Can't go fast enough.
When is the official date?
The official date's November 30th, but I start my vacation July 31st. I got 4 months of vacation, and then I'm officially retired. So.
Well, I got I got 20 years.
It's not. It goes quick.
Maybe. Once Patrick's out of school, maybe.
Yeah.
That's all I'm here for.
Yeah, that's why I'm slowing down with this. I'm real selective.
I did wear the Phillies stuff today. The grease the poles. Phillies hat. We're on a winning streak right now, so.
Oh, are they?
Ride the train, Joe. Put a bet in tonight.
I'm gonna go over and do a couple. I think
5 in a row
on today. Oh, really?
Yeah, we're 5 in a row.
Who they got tonight?
I don't even know.
I'll check it out.
Patrick's my go-to schedule. I know they're in Philly. It's a 4:00 start. Here, I'll tell you in a second. It is let me go to the app. I don't think it's raining down there. Oh, they're still with the Giants. I thought they ended the Giants. That's why. Yeah, they still got one more with the Giants. But yeah, they're hot. Did you win anything? We didn't come up Saturday. The weather was so junky for the Derby.
No, I had the 2-horse. I had a Oaks Derby double.
No problem, thank you.
And I had the 2-horse, and he just missed it. Missed it by what, 2 inches? I would have hit the double twice, but didn't have the 3.
All right, Joe. You have yourself a night. Have yourself a day. Have yourself a week.
All right, you too.
Until next time.